Are we risking our child's privacy for a few likes and comments? Today, Angela and I are going to dive into the debate about posting our kids' photos online.
Balancing building a successful business and being a superstar mom is hard, and yet, in today's digital world, it's more common than ever.
The question becomes, how do we successfully grow a business and children at the same time?
Join us for a candid conversation as we share our insights into marketing and motherhood. I'm Angela Reeder.
And I'm Jessie Valle. Welcome to the Marketing Moms Podcast.
Okay, so the debate, the chat, navigating, whatever you want to call it, about posting our kids online. I have found that as we get deeper and deeper into using social media and how it's just a part of the modern world, it's really hard to navigate whether we pull our kids into that or not.
Right.
So I kind of wanted to have this conversation just because I kind of want to reevaluate my decisions and if there's something that needs to change and all these things. So first off, I will say that what I have currently done in the past up till now is if I post my kids online, I have my Facebook profile set to basically I have a group of people that I know set in a group on Facebook. Right. So if I post, only the people I know, like family and friends, get to see it. But if I'm posting something about my business or whatnot, then I change it to public, like not public, but not the tiny group, just
Right.
the whole group. And then anybody on the internet can see it. It's no big deal. On Instagram, I have posted pictures of my kids a few times, but it's always from an angle where you can't see their face, or you can only see like a slight bit of half their face. You never see them full on. And I kind of did that because I just never really wanted to sit down and have this thought, right? Like,
Right.
do I really want to put my kids online? I don't know. So I've just kind of been like, I'll just leave them off for now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it is a tough thing. Jessie and I were discussing earlier, one of my kids this year, their class has like a class Twitter feed. And so, of course, they sent home the permission slips for, can we post your kid? Can we put their name or their first name anyway? Talking about how they'll be using the Twitter feed or the X feed. I'll never get used. It's going to be Twitter until the day I'm going to be that weird old lady in the nursing home going, back in my day, I was Twitter.
We called it Twitter.
But yeah, so it's and so we were kind of talking about it last night, and I was talking about how I like to ask the girls, do you care if your teacher puts whatever? And of course they don't, because they've grown up with social media. They've grown up with pictures being put on social media. They're used to, even the younger ones, their friends putting things on social media. And so it's not as big a deal for them. And that's part of why I think it's important for us to kind of be aware, because it isn't a big deal to them. They don't understand that is there for everybody, always, forever.
Yeah. Recently, my daughter had a birthday and someone got her this really cool kit that had like a green screen and a tripod and a ring light and all the things to make videos for online. And she watches YouTube, right? So she has all of these YouTube role models that she thinks is really cool. She's always pretended she has a YouTube channel. So now when she got all this stuff, all of a sudden she thought, I can do a YouTube channel too.
Right. Yeah.
And she's 8. And so I was like, I had to sit her down and discuss how there are dangers online. And I just don't think she's old enough to combat those dangers.
Right.
So she can make videos and things like that, but it's going to be for personal family viewing.
Yeah, that was the first thing my kids did when we gave them our old phones, that don't really do it. They're basically iPods. They don't really do phone stuff.
Yeah.
That was the first thing they did, was start making videos like they were YouTubers. That's their favorite thing to do, even now. And it's like, it's so funny because that's what they've grown. Like my kids, especially, they grew up watching YouTube. They grew up watching kids on YouTube, like Ryan from Ryan's
Yeah,
World,
of course.
being, you know, making all this money and making toys and developing products and merchandise. And they, you know, to them, that's what you do with the internet.
Right.
You know, and it doesn't help that like my job is on the internet. Like,
I know.
I'm not making videos, but like my job is on the internet. So,
Yeah.
you know, that doesn't really help a lot. But yeah, it's hard to explain to them. You know, I told my oldest the other day, when she was little, I posted pictures of her on Facebook like you all the time with, you know, just family or whatever. And then she got a little older and I didn't post as much. And the younger two, I didn't post as much when they were little. And I rarely post pictures of them now. And if I do, it's like you said, it's where you can't see their face and whatnot. But
so here's the conundrum.
it's difficult.
When you're growing a brand or a business or trying to connect with people, especially us, we are marketing moms. Moms is 50% of our business or of our podcast. And if you're not showing things about being a mom, how are people supposed to connect with you? Well, you're a mom because of your kids.
Yeah.
And when you're posting online, you want to be able to show different facets of yourself and of the things that matter to you, and our kids matter to us. So it's hard to navigate how to share our kids while still protecting them.
Yes.
But that's
and
the other thing. It's like we put ourselves out there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and another aspect to it that I was discussing with my older daughter last night, and you're close enough to my age that this will make sense to you at least, is that my kids my age, we grew up seeing how exploitative things like that could be with the child actors from our generation growing up, and you know, a lot of them falling into, you know, really difficult mental illness or you know, addiction and things like that, or being exploited by their parents. They get to the 18, they don't have any money because their parents took it all. Like, it can be very exploitative, and there's a very fine line there. And so I was telling her, one of the frustrations that I have sometimes watching some of the like the YouTube families with kids is I look at it and I'm like, you know where this is going. Like, we've seen this enough times with, you know, Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, things like that. Like, we know where this is. Miley Cyrus, that's a little younger, but you know, like, we know, you know where this is going. Like, you know, this is exploitative. And so there's kind of that aspect too, where I want to share my kids. Like you said, what moms is like 50% of our brand. I want to share that part, but I also want to make sure that I'm not doing it in a way that feels yucky.
Right.
For my kids.
Right. So I actually found a list of things that we might consider when trying to decide whether or not we want to share our kids online and how much or how little we do. So first is obviously the privacy considerations. So you know how it goes. When someone posts something on X, even if it's for 5 minutes, someone around the world is taking a screenshot of that. Now, I'm not going to pretend I'm as popular as a celebrity, but it's kind of the same thing. Like, if you have popped it up online, it's probably gotten saved somewhere, somehow, even by bots. And so your digital footprint is something to consider. Also, especially if you're thinking about like just embarrassing things, like, you may think it's cute,
right?
But when your child grows up and wants to be president of the United States, that's going to come back to haunt them.
Be embarrassing. Yes, exactly. Absolutely.
So that's also one of the things, like, consider their future.
Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the, like we were talking about early, or a lot of countries, especially in Europe, Germany especially, and I just know that because I happen to know people there, they have laws in place to try and protect children because of that. You're not allowed to post any images that have other people's kids in them. In most of those places, it's called like a right to your own image or something, and it goes for adults too. Like people can't just post pictures that of like a street with other people on it without permission, and so it's kind of trying to minimize that, like down the road, this picture was taken and I didn't, I was 3 and I was, now I'm embarrassed by it, even though my mom thought it was cute, like things like that. So
also, I mean, there are different ways to post online. Kind of like we said, you can have private accounts. Like I know
right,
people who have private Instagram accounts only shared with family, so they can
right,
post online, share it with family, but it's protected.
right.
So we're not saying that you can't share at all. It's just being a little more conscious of
Yeah,
who you are sharing with.
yeah. And as a tech person, like also for me, there's also the consideration that nothing you put online is ever 100% secure.
Mm-hmm.
So even when I post for family, I try to keep that in mind when I'm posting pictures, like you said, with the, embarrassing down the road or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, just because nothing's ever 100% secure once you put it on a computer.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you also mentioned not only the laws and regulations, but also the right to your own image, right? So
Hmm.
you also
Yeah.
want to consider your kids' permissions. Like,
Hmm.
you don't always have to make the decision all by yourself. Ask them. How do they feel
Right.
about it? I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, you're not going to ask your 2-year-old, how do you feel about this?
Right.
But
Yeah.
if they are older, ask them, how do you
Yeah.
feel about this? Or if you're in doubt, like, show your kid, hey, I really want to post this online. What do you think? And show them like specific example.
Yes. I do this with my kids when I can. And I even, if someone else is taking their picture and I know that it's likely to go on social media, I will usually try to give them a heads up. Like one of my friends, her daughter was in a play this spring. It was like a civic theater thing. So not like a kid's play. She was doing like 10-hour rehearsals.
Oh boy.
But we went to see it and her mom was like, oh my gosh, I want to take your picture. And I just, before the picture got snapped real quick, I just kind of pulled my daughter aside and was like, hey, just so you know, this is probably going to go on her Facebook. Like, just so that she kind of had an idea and had a second to say like, hey, I really like the picture, but could you not post that if that was something she wanted to do. Now she's 14, so she's old enough to do that. I wouldn't necessarily do that with my younger kids. But I do try to tell them, like, hey, your teacher wants to post some pictures on Facebook of your class. Is it okay if they post pictures of you? And just kind of give them a chance to think about it and, have a little bit of a say because they're older and kind of understand a little bit better.
Yeah. And I will say that sometimes I have family members that will take pictures and they're really good about saying, "Are you okay if we post this online?"
Hmm.
before they do it,
Yeah.
which I respect that and I appreciate that. So
Yeah.
if you are considering posting something with other kids, other people's kids in it, just
Hmm.
ask.
Yeah. Yep. Our family is really good about that too. And part of that is because I've been pretty clear about, you know, being hesitant about putting their picture online. So they're pretty good about asking, like, is it okay if I post this to whatever? It'll only be family, things like
Yeah.
that. But there's so much another part, and kind of going back to last week's episode, is that because the technology is always changing, like we don't really know what those pictures are going to end up, where they're going to end up, or what they're going to be used for. Um, Especially with things like AI that just sort of scrape images from all over the internet. It's just kind of, it's like a whole new aspect to consider
Yeah. I
that we didn't have to worry about 6 months ago.
It's true. I was playing around with the Photoshop AI and
Hmm.
it legit just changed our faces.
Hmm.
like kept our bodies but changed our faces. I'm like, who are these people and where did they
Right?
come from? But I've also seen if there's like a really cool picture that you want to share, where people put like the little stickers
Yes.
over the
I've done
faces.
that.
I
Yeah.
don't mind that. You know, you still
Yeah.
get to share, hey, look at this fun family photo, but then like
Mhm.
everybody but you has a sticker over their face.
Yeah. I've done that with my kids. If I take a picture of like them helping in the kitchen or something, I'll put a little sticker over their faces to preserve privacy sometimes.
Yeah. So there are ways to still share while still being conscious about not sharing it all, right? It's not
Yeah.
an all or nothing thing. You
Yes.
can take it from the, pictures from the back or from the side or put the sticker over their face. Like it doesn't mean it's either none at all or all of
Right.
them. There
Yeah.
is
I
gray, there is a medium.
yeah, I don't think there really is anymore an option of just entirely keeping your kid off the internet, your kid's picture off the internet. Like there just isn't. It's 2023. People are snapping, especially in this country where you can, people are snapping pictures of kids all the time. Like if your kid goes to a park or has ever been in a school program, I can virtually guarantee your kid's picture is somewhere on the internet. Like
It's
they
true.
just are.
Yeah,
So
it's true.
I think the best thing to do is just to manage what you can control and try to make the best decision that you can with the information you have. But like I said, 6 months ago, AI wasn't even a concern.
Hmm.
Like 6 months ago, it wouldn't even have occurred to me that AI might scrape my kids' pictures to help build something else somewhere,
Right.
you know? But now I'm like, oh no, you know, but I made the best decision I could with the information I had at the time. And I think that's really the best that you can do is just to take a minute to consider everything. And if you're one of those people that's like, I don't care, I'm putting my kid's picture on the internet, that's fine. There's no judgment here. It's just not a decision that I make for my kids.
Hmm. And just remember, at the end of the day, what's best for you is what's
Mm-hmm.
best for you.
Yeah.
Take our opinions and our experiences, leave them. It's okay.
Yeah.
We're just
But
sharing
if you
the
ever wonder why you
considerations.
don't see our kids on Instagram,
Yeah. And if you wonder
that's
why,
why.
it's because we're trying to respect their right to
Yeah.
their own image.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
We're doing our best as moms.
yeah. And I know you're doing the same. If you decide that you think we're being a little too much and you
Hmm.
decide to go ahead and do it, that's fine. That you do
Yeah.
you. That kind of reminds me, random tangent. So recently the Barbie movie came out, and I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
realize that it was rated higher.
Oh, that it wasn't like rated G.
Exactly.
Oh,
So I haven't seen it or anything, but I have people saying that they're not taking their little girls to go see it, even though they want to, because of the higher rating. And yet,
right.
in the same stroke, I know that there are people who are just like, "Psh, whatever, it's fine."
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a really good example. And also to go along with that, there are there are movies that are rated appropriate for my kids that I wouldn't let them watch.
Mm,
And there are movies that are rated a little high that I might let my kids watch because I feel like it's appropriate for them or they can understand it or whatever. Like,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I think it's just kind of whatever works for your kids and your
Yeah, and
family.
works for you and your family. And don't let anybody else tell you you're right or wrong, because what's
Mhm.
right for one family is not right for all.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just kind of, you have to make the best decision you can. Um,
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Barbie movie either. I've heard good things about it, but I was never a Barbie kid. Like, it was
Mm,
not, I had Barbies, but I
yeah.
wasn't like obsessed with Barbies the way
Yeah.
some girls
Same.
were.
Yeah.
And my kids have Barbies, but they're not like, oh my God, a Barbie movie. They liked the cartoon Barbie movies. We
Yeah.
watched those a lot. My kids, there were a lot of Barbie cartoons playing in our
Yeah.
house when my kids were little, but they liked them because of the cartoons, not because they were Barbie. So,
Yeah.
So
So
far,
if
my
you
girls
want to
haven't.
continue this conversation with us about Barbies
Barbie.
and privacy online and all the things, be sure to join us in our monthly membership, Marketing Moms Monthly, where you can actually get a free month at marketingmomsmonthly.com. And we have a group chat where we get everybody together and we just chat about all the things mom marketing, wins, losses, support, advice, all the things. You can get access directly to people like Angela and I, who have been in online business for many, many years, have seen lots of things, worked with multi-million-dollar businesses, and just have a lot of experience under our belt. So, yay, doggies! On that note, we cannot wait to chat with you next week. We'll see you then.
Thank you for joining us today. We're so honored this is where you chose to spend your time.
If this episode helped you in some way, please share it with another mom who needs to hear it. We're in this together.
And if you're ready for next steps, free goodies, and more, head over to marketingmomspodcast.com.
We'll see you next week.